Hi everyone, welcome back. Today's video is going to be the YouTube Memories tag, and I'm collaborating with my friend Natalie, who is also a YouTuber. I will link to her channel down below, as well as the video that she's going to be posting that is much like this one. Now, I say collaborating, but really she came up with all of the questions and reached out to me and asked if I wanted to collaborate. So we're collaborating, but she did all of the work and I'm just posting at the same time as her. I really enjoyed the questions that she came up with because it really made me sort of look back into my YouTube history, and it was kind of like a nice little deja vu for myself, you know, to like go through my memories and think about all the stuff that I've posted on my channel. So I'm going to scooch over. I'm going to put some little clippets of the videos here as I talk about them, or talk about the questions rather. So the first one is, what video are you the most proud of? And honestly, this is a little bit difficult to come up with because most stuff that I post on my channel I am quite proud of. But one really stuck out in my head, and it was the video that I put up in like the first year of doing YouTube, and it was of Clark from The 100, and I was emulating her Heya makeup look. I love the show The 100, and I really wanted to do that makeup look because there's not a whole lot of different looking makeup stuff in TV shows. Like generally people are done up to look fairly natural. So when they did this look on her, I was like, I just have to do it because I love it so freaking much. And I put it together, and it wasn't quite exact, but I just had fun with doing the makeup and doing my hair in those braids. I felt like a badass. I was really, really in love with that. So that is definitely my favorite video. Or rather, the one that I'm the most proud of, because it really just came together so beautifully. The second question is, what video are you the most embarrassed by? And honestly, I don't really have any, because I'm not embarrassed by the content that I put up there. I think if I look back on older videos, I seem a little bit more awkward or camera shy, but that's really just because I was getting used to talking to a camera. I wasn't used to having this inanimate object to have a discussion with, and I felt a little bit strange just talking to it. And even sometimes if my husband would be home, I'd feel weird talking to a camera around him. Over time, I've gotten very much used to that, and my personality has come out more to the camera. So I don't find anything that I've posted to be embarrassing, and I haven't privated anything either on my channel. But if I look back, I can see how my personality wasn't shining through as much as it does now. The third question is, what was your first video? And mine was an intro video. So I had already had a blog for about 2 years before I put up a YouTube video, because I wasn't sure if I was going to commit to the format of making videos. It just didn't seem like something I could commit to at the time. But then after a few years of doing my blog, I was like, okay, I want to switch to video format. And at the time, I still ran the blog concurrently with the YouTube channel. Now I don't really bother with the blog. It's just all about the videos. But my first video was an intro video because I knew that I had to post something that would introduce me and my personality and how I speak to my blog audience. Because when you read what somebody has written, you have a voice in mind for how they speak. And when you sometimes hear them on camera, as opposed to just reading the written content, they can come across very differently. And I just sort of wanted to introduce myself in a video format that way. It was a very short video. It was a one-take cut because at the time I had no idea how to edit anything. And I think I probably shot it 10 to 15 times before I finally didn't get tongue-tied and could just do it in one go. But it's like a 30-second video that's basically just me being like, hi, I'm gonna start doing videos, and that's pretty much it. The fourth question is, what is your video with the most views? And that is my Tarteist Quick Dry Matte Lip Paints, which has about 31,000 views. I'm pretty sure that it has the most views because it's a full collection lip swatch video, and Tarte generally tends to put those quick dry matte lip paints on sale quite often. So I feel like whenever there's a sale on those matte lip paints, I get a huge surge in views through that video because people want to see what they look like. Lip swatch videos are not necessarily my favorite to film. They're a lot of work, but that one has certainly like paid off over time because it's been helpful to other people to see what those colors look like on somebody. The fifth question is, what is your video with the lowest amount of views? And that was definitely a vlog that I posted. I don't think my vlogs are very popular because this is a beauty channel, but for me, they're beautiful like capsule memory type things. And it's one of my New York City vlogs from a few years ago. It has like 163 views, which is pretty low, but honestly, it doesn't really matter. I tend to rewatch those videos so I can remember the memories that came with them, and that's really all that they're there for. In that video in particular, because I had to go back and find it and rewatch it a little bit of it, we went to like a Yankees game in New York City. We ended up going to like a pop-up display for like the new Breaking Bad season, or was it for Better Call Saul? I don't remember, but that was really cool. I went, and then we had like some horribly delayed return to Canada. The next question is video that took the most amount of work. And I would say that basically any tutorial that you see that is a strict like tutorial with a voiceover takes the most amount of time and is one of the most excruciating things to not only film but also edit, because the filming can take upwards of 90 minutes for a tutorial, and then when you have to cut it all together and then do a voiceover for it too, it's so long. It can take like 4 to 5 hours just for editing that one video, which just feels so excessive. But the one that took me the most amount of work, just because I had so many problems, was the candy cane eyeliner tutorial I did a few years back. And the look came out pretty neat. I really like how it came together, but what I was using for eyeliner just was not drying down, and it kept transferring from my liner area up to like my crease area, and I had to keep going back in to like blend out the crease area and try to remove any of the cream stuff that was transferring up. I was using the Makeup Forever Flash palette, and I think I was just using the pigment too thickly, and because it's a cream, it wasn't drying down, it just kept transferring up. So that was an absolute nightmare to do, and I did film another video with that eyeliner look on afterwards, just so that I could say that I had used it at least twice, and I will probably never do that kind of look again just because it was so arduous. Question number 7 is, what was the video that was the hardest to edit? And I think I already mentioned how lip swatch videos take too long, but they're basically the hardest to edit too. And it's just because it takes so long to film it, and then you have to cut it all together, and like you don't tend to show the like precision in application when you're putting on a lip product, but that takes so long to put together while you're filming, and then to sit there while you're editing and have to watch yourself put on a lipstick for like 2 minutes for each color is just like, oh, it's so boring. And with like the Tarte lip paint video, I think I had like 30 lipsticks to edit into that video, so that took me forever. But basically any lip swatch video is like my least favorite thing to edit. I generally tend to put them off because they're just not a lot of fun. So yeah, any lip swatch video is like the worst to edit. Question number 8 is, what video was the hardest to film? And honestly, any hair videos are just the worst to film. I hate doing it. People will often ask me if I can film a hair tutorial because they like my hairstyle, and honestly, I almost always say no, because they're just so awful to film. I don't know the right angles for filming stuff. You have to, like, if you're doing stuff at the back of your head, you have to be facing away from the camera, so you can't see what you're doing. You can't see if you're in focus, and if you go out of frame, like, who knows? So anytime I've done a hair video, I've found it so cumbersome and just so annoying, and they're by far the hardest to film. And people still ask for them, and I'm like, guys, sorry, no. Like, just absolutely no. Not only do they not get a lot of views, which if you don't get a lot of views on something, it doesn't make it that enticing to film it again, but also the fact that I just hate filming them. Like, I truly despise filming hair videos, so that's why you see like almost none on this channel. I like doing my hair, but filming it and setting up the camera like in my bathroom, not fun at all. Question number 9 is video that was the most fun to film, and there's been a lot of videos that have been fun to film. I think about like when we moved into this condo and I got to show us like painting all the rooms. That was a lot of fun, but I think the one I found the most enjoyable to film was, this was a few years ago now too, that trend on how I did my makeup in high school. I had so much fun recreating old, I think it was just one makeup look that I'd done in high school, and it just brought back like memories of the past and how I used to do my makeup. And of course it was all MAC back then, and you know, not a whole lot really done. It was just like eyeshadows, no eyebrows. I definitely didn't wear foundation back then. I might have worn a MAC lip gloss, you know, if I was feeling feisty, but that was a lot of fun to film because it was just really tied into like memories of my past. Question number 10 is video with the fondest memory. And honestly, it's pretty much any of the vlogs that I film. I put them together for myself and for my friends that I'm traveling with, and they're just a phenomenal memory to have. But the one I think that I loved the most was Julie and mine's trip to Ireland last year. was it last year? I'm losing all sense of time in quarantine here, guys. We went to Ireland and England last year, and I filmed it over like the 7 or 10 days that we were there. And I think it might be 3 different videos, but I look back on those and it just makes me smile so much. I remember how much fun we had. And while it does get a little bit cumbersome vlogging while you're on vacation, because at some point people get fed up of having a camera in their face, right? It still has the fondest memory attached to it because it was just such a fun time to be out there with my friends. So all my vlogs are like that, but like the one in England and Ireland was definitely one of my favorites. So the next question is, what is your longest video? And I really thought that it was one of my vlog videos, but then Natalie pointed out that I've got some palette collection videos that are super long. So my longest one is my palette collection from 2019, and it's 48 minutes and 17 seconds. That is excruciatingly long, and I honestly don't know how people sit through all of these videos that are that length, but that one is my longest one, I'm pretty sure, and the palette collection from 2018 is actually 48 minutes long, so it was only 17 seconds shorter than the previous one, or vice versa. So those are definitely my longest videos, and kudos to you if you can sit through all that, because that's lengthy. For shortest video, this was a little bit hard to find, and I'm not even sure if I got it right, but I think my shortest video was 3 minutes and 15 seconds, and it was on how to apply glitter to your eyes. I had 2 different options, how to wear it like on your lid and then how to wear it like underneath your eyes as well. And it was just a really brief tutorial type thing, and I'm pretty sure that's my shortest one. Question number 13 is, what was the first beauty channel that you watched that made you think, I could do that? And I'd always figured that I could film YouTube videos. I don't think it was due to like a lack of skill or knowledge or learning how to do something. But the thing that really twisted my mind about going ahead and filming videos was when I watched Makeup TIA. I believe her name is Ashley. She doesn't put out videos anymore, which is disappointing because she's so lovely. But she made a comment years ago in one of her videos that pointed out that if you put enough effort into filming for YouTube, you could make a little bit of money back and it could fund all of your makeup purchases. And I'm not hungry for money in the YouTube space. I don't want to make a career out of this. I really don't care like how much money it brings me in. It's totally relevant. I have a job full-time that brings me the salary that I need in order to live. But what I liked about that concept when she pointed it out was that I could use the money that I get from YouTube, from either AdSense revenue or any affiliate links, and I could turn that into money that I would spend on makeup in return, or even the stuff that I've had to spend money on in order to have this channel, like the ring light that's lighting everything up, the background cost, the camera cost, like, you know, all those little things that add up. I was able to take the money from AdSense and roll it back into my channel. But anyway, getting back to the point, she had pointed out that you could take that money and use it to buy all the makeup that you would have otherwise used your regular paycheck for. And I was like, that is genius. Of course. Why wouldn't you do that? That's so smart. And from there on in, I was like, okay, just take whatever you make from this channel and roll it back in. And it removes some of the guilt that I can feel when I buy makeup that I don't necessarily need, because having a YouTube channel, you end up with a lot of extra product that you sometimes love and sometimes buy and then just don't care about it anymore. And I didn't love that I was spending my salaried money on products for YouTube that I might eventually get rid of, but somehow the money that came in from the AdSense revenue, respending that on money for the channel just made so much more sense to me. So she was the one that sort of made me think, yeah, you can do this, and here's the reason why you should do this. Now, don't get me wrong, I've always preferred video format for reviews and the like, so I wanted to get into it, but I just didn't really have that sort of like pushing over moment, you know, where you're on the fence and it's like, oh, what do I do? Go one way or the other. And that comment kind of just pushed me over the fence, and I was like, oh, genius, I'm gonna do this. Question number 14 is, what is a product that you bought solely for review but ended up loving? So I will say that I don't buy a whole lot of products just for review. Most of them I buy because I am interested in them, but sometimes I go into it thinking, I don't know if I'm gonna love this as much, but I wanna try it out. The thing that comes to mind relatively recently was the Tati Textured Neutrals palette. I bought it thinking, I don't really need another neutrals palette. It looks interesting, but maybe I won't love it, but I still want to give it a shot. And I fell in love with that sucker. That palette is just phenomenal. The quality of the eyeshadows, how they blend, the colors, the monochromatic construction of those columns is just so delightful. I love that thing to pieces. So that was one that I was kind of like a little bit on the fence about knowing if I would love it once I got it. It turned into like me absolutely being enamored with that palette. Question number 15, what is a product that you bought solely for review and ended up hating? And again, I don't just buy things to review, I buy them with the hope that I will love them. But the one that came to mind for this is the Too Faced Then and Now Anniversary Palette. Oh God, I hate that thing. I hate it. I got rid of it. I don't own it anymore. It's out of my collection. It was this brick of a palette that was absolutely massive. It was laid out so poorly, and I'm pretty sure they just did it that way to look impressive because it was an anniversary palette. But that thing was trash. It was so bad. The concept of it, of having the original 10 or 11 eyeshadows and then like the new revamped versions of that color, seemed like a genius idea to me, but they didn't take it far enough. They were almost like too similar or like too old-fashioned feeling for eyeshadows. Like some of the upgraded colors, I'm like, yeah, I would have worn this 20 years ago, but this is supposed to be the now part of this palette. And I was just like, no, thank you. I didn't like the quality of it either, even though they upgraded the formula for the old eyeshadows. It just felt really bad. It just felt really bad. Too Faced quality has been very inconsistent over the years. I felt like there was a time where I was absolutely in love with everything they put out, but I feel like that anniversary palette kind of pushed me over the edge, and I was like, I don't know about this quality, man. So that thing was really bad. And I held on to it for a while because I'd spent the money on it, but I got rid of it relatively recently. And I tell you what, until this video, I had not thought about it again. So that's a good thing. So that is going to be it for this tag. I love the questions. I thought it was so much fun to go back and just like investigate through my YouTube channel and remember all these videos that frankly, some of them I'd completely forgotten about. Like that candy cane eyeliner tutorial, totally forgot that I'd done it. But then I remembered how painful it was putting that look together. Massive thank you to Natalie for wanting to collaborate with me. Again, she came up with all the questions, so she's the genius behind this tag. I'm just along for the ride. I will link to both her channel and her original tag video down below. And that's gonna be it. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I will hopefully see you next time. Bye.